Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one. So we're gonna go live on this because this is just straight foolishness. And guys, so before we get into this here, please remember to like, subscribe, drop a comment. It really helps keep this channel going. But guys, so yeah, today we're gonna talk about Chuck Liddell. And yeah, so Chuck Liddell's getting divorced, and apparently his baby mom, his soon-to-be ex-wife, is in control of all of his finances, and he has to beg her for money. So we are living in clown world, absolute clown world. But guys, I mean, Bill Burr said this the best: all these guys that are being taken down by chicks, that are, oh snap, gangish in the house. What's up, gangish? How you doing, man? Um, so yeah, uh, he had a DV case back, I believe it was last year, and yeah, he got arrested, and that's when they separated. And this is her, and that's him, right? And for those who don't know Chuck Liddell, I mean, Chuck Liddell, he was a beast back in the day. He beat Randy Couture. He beat Babalu Sabral. He beat all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? He was a bad dude, man. He was one of the reasons why uh, the UFC got pretty big in the first place. So but yeah, man. So we're gonna jump into this story here, and you can see this is his wife and this is him, and he met her when he was in his 40s. So he had already like long been retired, you know what I mean? His income wasn't the same, you know? And now he's with this girl, and it says in newly filed court documents obtained by Radar Online, Chuck tears into his ex as their divorce plays out in court. Now, they actually did have a, a custody battle, and she was trying to take the kids out of the city, and um and he got to take their passports. So I think that pissed her off, and yeah, so now they're in this court case, but somehow she is in control of the community property. Now I don't know if they got married in California, but guys, if you get married in California, you're screwed. California, Washington State, Oregon, any of this, you are fucked, right? So, and mind you, he met this chick after he made his millions fighting. So he probably met her at Hooters or something, you know, and saw her, was like, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" You know. So look at this. So they have a DV case. Chuck's daughter said that she witnessed her parents pushing each other. When the officers arrived, Chuck had a red mark on his face, but his wife had no visible injuries. Chuck said that he volunteered to go to jail to avoid his wife being arrested. Oh no. What an idiot. So he said, "Oh, officer, man, I don't want her going to jail, man. I'll just take the L and go to jail." Guys, don't do this. If she hits you guys, walk away. If you can't, lock yourself in a bathroom or something and call the cops and make sure that you get her for DV. But for the most part, guys, if the cops get called, someone's going to jail, and it's probably gonna be you. He's probably screwed because he's a ex-fighter, Mohawk or whatever, so he was doomed, right? But in this case, he volunteered to go to jail. He says, "I was the victim of the incident last night at our family home, as details of this case will reveal," and this is back last year. Luckily, the DA didn't press charges. So he made that out. He made out of that by the skin of his teeth, right? Okay, this is where the new news is. In the new motion, he said he needs an advance of $95,000, right? And you might ask why. Why could that possibly be? He needs community funds to continue paying his bills. Because he said he needs an advance of $95K from community funds to continue paying the monthly expenses. He said that he'd been paying the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, utility bills, and health insurance for the family without any help from her. So he's still paying for everything, despite the fact that he's getting that his funds are being held for this divorce. So it says further, he wants the home to be put for sale or $20K per month from community funds to help pay the bills. So he's paying $20,000 a month that he needs for the bills. Chuck said that since they're split, they have shared the home. He said one person lives in the home for a week and then they switch off. So this is his house that he's paying for. And then he lives in it one week, she lives in it the next. Absolute clown world, right? The other person lives with a friend while not in the home. Chuck said that they receive around $400K after the split from community funds. And guys, community funds is his money. That's the California / woke state way of saying community property, right? And yeah, so he said he's wiped out his share paying all the expenses. He said Heidi has barely touched her cut. So they got $400,000. He's been using his part of that money to pay the bills. And then she's just la hanging out around town. Chuck said the monthly mortgage of $13,691. He said he's paid he's paid over $205,000 in payments on the home since separation. This is a house that he only lives in part-time. Clown world, right? Despite his numerous requests, Chuck said that Heidi refuses to help him with the bills or let him touch a community funds. So once again, she's not letting him touch his own money. This is money that he made getting punched in the face for, getting CTE, getting choked out, getting Randy Couture slammed. You know what I'm saying? And remember, guys, Chuck Liddell in his last 6 fights, he got knocked out in every single fight. So it's not like he retired. He's no Mayweather or Sugar Ray Leonard where he was ducking punches his whole career, right? He said that without additional funds, the expenses will no longer be paid, which could lead to him losing his home. His home, HIS, his home, clown world. He says, while I have received some earnings post-separation, they are modest in nature and grossly insufficient to cover the expense. Without a court order of advance disbursement, I'm no longer about to pay for the expense. We will lose a highly valuable community asset. Red pill translation: if I can't pay, I'm going to lose my house that I paid for, that I bled for. Chuck revealed he has 2 bank accounts with $549,000. He wants permission to access funds from those accounts. Further, he said the home was purchased for $2.6 million in 2012. The fighter believes his house is worth $5.3 million today. However, he has not been able to make mortgage payments.
Scroll down because our logos are blocked. Okay, there you go.
October, due to his lack of cash. Chuck said in November 2022, the Heidi claimed she would reconsider her position on his money if he would agree to give her the kids' passports so they could take a trip to Mexico. Chuck said, instead of caring whether the household expenses are paid, Heidi is instead using this situation to obtain benefits that Heidi has previously denied me. For example, for my years of work in the UFC, I was scheduled to be honored in Las Vegas with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I asked her if I could take my kids with me as I wanted them to share the experience. She refused my request and would not allow our children to accompany me. As a result, I decided not to attend. I'm shocked that Heidi would use this situation to strong arm me to get what she wants on completely unrelated issues. However, I will no longer allow her to control me, and I've learned to stand up for myself. I will no longer allow her to manipulate me as she has done throughout our entire marriage. A judge is yet to rule. Guys, it's crazy. Crazy.
So,
and you know whose fault that this is, guys?
It's Chuck Liddell's
It's Chuck Liddell's fault.
Yep.
And I know, guys, I am red pill, but always gonna be like, oh, it's just bitch. Guys, no. No, you cannot put yourself in this situation. You can't do it. Why would you, in your 40s, meet some girl, marry her with no type of, if she has this type of control, this knucklehead didn't sign a prenup or anything, right? And then even if you were to sell the house,
go ahead,
they would have to
make
split
my day.
Yeah, seriously. And she was just licks chopped. And here's the thing: people whine about the system. It isn't fair. But the best way to beat the system is not to play it in the first, not to play the game in the first place. Man, someone else say something. I'm pissed off here, man.
I'm waiting for you to get done ranting.
So,
gang is what's up, man?
So let me just say, here's the thing about a lot of these old school, fighters, soldiers. A lot of our first responders are like old school, and they have that kind of honor mind. So some of the most honorable guys left in society, but they're honorable men in the cesspool of dating and marriage and stuff. And this is gonna sound bad, but like, honorable men have to learn how to put their boundaries up, and you have to be. There are words that had negative connotation when we were younger, but they're perfectly good to say now, like selfish. If someone said you're selfish when you were younger, you're selfish. But as a man, you have to be selfish, especially these honorable type of guys, because honor will be all you're left with when she takes you to the cleaners and takes your kids away, and you can't pay your as Chuck Liddell is finding out, you can't pay your mortgage with
it's
honor
a
and integrity.
Game because she's not making payments, so she doesn't care if the house is gone.
So what's the situation here? Why is all the money frozen?
Because I think that they got married in either California or one of the states that's okay. There's two different types of states. There's states like Texas that are really, really like husband friendly when it comes to divorce, right? So like the maximum amount of child support that you can get is $2,800 a month, period. So if you're a millionaire, you can't get took for a massive, crazy child support. They even have a cap on alimony there too. Or I actually think Missouri is the most like male-friendly divorce state, right? Texas, but California, if you get married, then you have this. Then your property is community property. It's split, right? But you don't have, which means that you have, both parties have to agree to make decisions on the property. So let's just say that you bought a house and you live in LA. You marry a woman, even if she's not on the deed. If you get divorced, you can't take a mortgage out on it. You can't sell it because it's officially half hers, no matter what. In the same way, look, Michael Douglas, we all saw Wall Street, right? Michael Douglas got divorced from his ex in 91 or whatever. She was his wife when he made Wall Street, the film, right? You know that they made part 2 like 25 years later. She got half of that money because that was considered, she partially owned his part of that property from back then.
Ugh.
California, dude, clown world.
Yeah. So it's all what you call property. It's all community property.
Yes.
But why would she be the only one making the decisions, or she's just holding up the decisions?
But there's some other things that we don't know. So, for instance, he got to take the kids' passports because she wanted to take the kids out of the country, and he said no. So I'm guaranteed that pissed her off, right?
No.
So she's
but
being petty.
He's talking about the basic makeup. Like, how does she have the legal ability to be able to stop him from getting his funds? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
It seems like that would be a foolish law. The foolish power to grant somebody in a divorce would be to give the other party the inability to pay their bills.
yes, and that's how it's set up. So look, they both got $400,000 out of the community money, right? So he got 200 grand, she got 200 grand. They both live in the house week on and week off, and they're both supposed to be using their money to pay the bills. She's just not paying her half. It's supposed to be 50-50.
So she's doing it on purpose.
Yes.
She's doing this
because
on
hell
purpose.
hath no fury than a woman scorned, right?
Did she catch him messing around? Why'd they break up?
They broke up because she was beating him up. There was the domestic violence thing. See, look, they said that the split came after this domestic violence last year, right? And look, when officers arrived, Chuck had a red mark on his face, but his wife had no injuries. He volunteered to go to jail to avoid his wife being arrested. He should have let her go to jail. But instead, I was the victim of the incident last night at our home. As the details of this case will reveal, they didn't press charges, though. And all he's asking for is an extra $95,000 from the community fund so that he can keep paying the bills because she's not paying anything. And she's holding that up. They have to agree on taking money out of the community funds.
And you said he's got about $500,000, right?
No. Well, no, he's paid almost $500,000 so far on the house. So the monthly mortgage is $13,691, right? He's paid $205,000 on the home since November.
No, they said he's got Jesus. So no, they said he's got up top. It said that he has like 500,000 in an account. 500.
Yes.
Okay.
But he can't access it unless they both agree on it. That's why he's asking the judge for the advance.
He's paying that much, that 500,000 ain't gonna last much longer.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why he's trying to. That's why he's thinking about trying to sell this house. But she has to agree on selling his house.
I tell you,
this is crazy. It's clown world.
The average man, this just because here's the thing. Chuck Liddell can kill like 80. I said the K word. Chuck Liddell can lay hands and beat about 90% of people on the planet in a fight. And look what he's going through. Tom Brady, greatest. I don't like Tom Brady, but the greatest quarterback of all time. His wife left him. Like, what hope do average guys have?
But you
why get married?
At Javonte Davis, you guys saw that? His baby mama, it lives in his house. She drives a Lambo. Lives in this big house. They're arguing. She rubs his kid's diaper poop on his brushes, trashes his house, spits on his face, and then because he kept cool, she said, "All right, I'm gonna call the cops and say you hit me." And he got arrested 2 weeks ago, right before his big fight. Yeah, all because they were fighting about something. It's like, dude,
most women don't act like this, though.
Exactly, which is why
these are trophy wives. These guys.
No. Listen. So what I'm saying is this: it's not the women; it's the system that allows the ones who do this to do this, right? Because there's a shitty group of small group of shitty people in every group, women, LGBT, men, or whatever. There's a small group of no matter what, right? It's like people go, we should teach people not to steal. We teach people not to steal, but a small group still do steal, right? There's a small group of women that are gonna screw you over, and the thing is, they have the system that allows them to do so. And if I was gonna play a game, right? I would want to play the one that has the rules that let me win, right? What I don't get is why these men work all this time and money and effort. Because I'm talking about the men. Why they do all this time and effort and let this woman into their life in the first place? Clown world,
homie. They were to be that good, to be as good as Tom Brady. That fool's eating, sleeping, and shit in football. You really think his wife's happy? She's there because he's Tom Brady, right? That's why she's there, because he's Tom Brady.
Well, she's not there anymore. She left him,
right?
Yep.
She's not there because, you know what I mean, because she's super in love with this dude. This is, you know, that's one of the things I said today whenever I was talking about Alec Baldwin. Hey, homie, say whatever you want. That motherfucker got a strong marriage, dog.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
His and even with his wife being off the wall, he got a strong marriage. At least as far as, I would say, as far as Hollywood's concerned, he's doing a lot better than most people as far as Hollywood's concerned.
Yeah, that's true. Well, all right. Here's the thing, because I was talking about Javante Davis, right? Look at LeBron's wife. I don't even know what she looks like. They've been married forever. Look at Ice Cube's wife. He's been married for 30 years. I don't even know what she looks like, but she holds him down. No drama, no nothing. Snoop Dogg's wife.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg too.
They've been married for 30 years. She says, look, you do what you do. I got the house. I got the Bentley. I got the Lambo. I got the kids. You just travel and do what you do. And when you're home, I'll put a hot dog on a plate. That's the type of what's all you need. That is all you need. And that's why you see the smartest celebrities, businessmen, or whatever, they will bang these spots. But then if you settle down with just a regular kind of above average chill chick, you know what I'm saying? But you look at Javante Davis's baby.
If I can say one thing, so
she's Instagram thought, man.
Some of the best advice I ever gotten was find a woman that loves you. Like, always find a woman that loves you more than you love her. Find a woman that will put you above anything she has going on, because if not, you're gonna find this. Like, I can't stand, like, Tom Brady. His wife thought that he should quit. 23 years of his life playing football. He's sacrificing his mind and body on the altar of greatness, and she expects him to sit home and freaking watch the kids. Are you serious?
And he's still in his prime too. But guys, here we have a little clip here that we can play.
He's almost 50.
Yeah, but this is Bill Burr talking about this topic of these chicks who will marry these dudes, and then but he also talks about why are men doing this to ourselves? Because we do it to ourselves.
Why man wouldn't be afraid to get married at this point? You know, look at Kobe. Look at the shit he's going through right now. All right, the guy's getting a divorce.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Wife's gonna get $70 million. Never hit a layup in her life.
Did you guys hear that?
Can anybody explain these divorce settlements? Can anybody make sense of these fucking things? Tiger Woods' wife, $250 million. She's a babysitter worth $250 million fucking dollars. Somebody, go ahead. Somebody explain, justify it. Justify it. What, he cheated on her? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. He cheated on her. Great, the relationship's over right then. Kobe cheated, right? Shouldn't that relationship been over right then? Why did she hang around like some jaded cop for 3 years trying to get her fucking pension?
Facts.
Right, get that 10 years in?
Facts, dude. Facts.
I don't know, maybe that's too harsh. That shit bothers me, man. Dude, there is an epidemic of gold-digging whores in this country. And every night I put on the news, and I'm waiting for someone to address it. Every night, never see it, you know? And every night I bring up gold-digging whores, and the whole crowd pulls back like I'm up here talking about Bigfoot, right? Like I'm saying the moon's made out of cheese or something. Talking about whores, people. They're everywhere. How many? How many more great men are going to get chopped in half before we do something? Why is it so quiet in here? God damn, I don't get it. What is it? Is it women? Do you think I'm calling you? I'm not calling any woman here a whore, okay? So don't pull back. That's not fair, okay? If you brought up wife beaters, I wouldn't like pull back. I get it. There's guys hitting women, they need to be stopped. We got to understand that gold digging whores are the wife beaters for men.
It's facts.
Yeah, they are.
Absolute facts. I just did a video yesterday. Divorced men are 2.5 times more likely to self-delete. 2.4 times. They said for every one woman that self-deletes from divorce, 9 men do it. 9 men. They said that it's the having their kids taken away, so the bond being severed with their kids, and then the change in financial and social economic status, and then the feeling of isolation too. So women act like, oh, we have it so hard in divorce. It's an emotional thing. No, but women they usually come out with the kids and some more money. You know what I'm saying? But men usually end up with nothing. They think 2.4 times more likely to off themselves. We talk about rich men, but just think about the average guy who's working in a plant in Iowa, making 70,000, 60 grand a year, right? And you're just trying to get up, drive your truck to work, and next thing you know, you're in front of a judge, and you're like, wait, I can only see my kids every other weekend now? That don't make any sense.
Yeah, almost all the guys I know that got divorced. Well, so women leave men 70 to 80% of the time, and 90% if they're college educated. All the guys I know that got divorced, they literally came home one day, and their wife was like, "I've had." Let me tell. Can I story time real quick, AJ?
Yeah, but we gotta finish.
Go ahead.
Clip. But men and women can both be equally shitty, right? So you would think, but that's not. If men and women can both be equal shit mothers and fathers, it makes no sense that they would get the kids, that women would have the kids 90% of the time, right? You would think that it would be more even, but I digress.
Except we don't have that Rihanna lumped up photo in the end, so it's not obvious. It's in the eyes. It's in the lines in your face. It's in Mel Gibson's high-pitched voice on the answering machine. I had to give up my Laker tickets, right? That is the sound of a man being taken for everything he's got. I got to tell you, I'm envious of women, okay? I'm not saying your problems get solved, but at least they're taken seriously.
Facts.
People, you got 1-800 numbers, you got ribbons, there's groups.
Pamphlets.
People give a shit. Anything happens to a guy, it's just considered funny. Some woman cut her husband's dick off, threw in the garbage disposal, and turned it on. People thought it was hilarious. They were, hey, Stumpy! Nobody cares. You think if a guy removed a woman's titty and threw it in the dryer, anybody would be joking about it the next day? The entire country would grind to a halt. There'd be a moment of silence. The NFL would have some special colored headband everybody had to wear for an entire month. The most effeminate color they could possibly come up with. All my heroes are going down. Arnold Schwarzenegger, another great man. Another great man. Taken down by that gold-digging whore of a maid he's got. And I'm not saying he's not a piece of shit for doing what he did. It was a piece of shit move. But how come only he got chastised? What about the maid? Why was she called the maid that entire story? She was never called a whore, ever. It just boggled my mind. She knew his wife, first name basis, played with their kids, fucked her husband in their own goddamn bed. That's right down the checklist. First ballot Hall of Fame whore. Right there. Never. Why do you think she hooked up with him? Because of that 1987 flat top he's still rocking? Giant space between his teeth I could put this mic cord through? Or do you think maybe it's all that kindergarten cop money laying around the goddamn bedroom? No, it's awful. It's a horrific thing to see as a guy, watching guys go through that shit, And then there's no sort of examination of it. They just go, he's an idiot. Hey, he's stupid. That guy's stupid. If that guy's stupid, what the fuck am I?
That's facts.
Does it even make sense? Why would you do that? Why would you accomplish all that and then fuck it up hooking up with one of the ugliest human beings I've ever seen in my life. I'm not saying I'm a prize. I'm just saying, you know? There's got to be something beyond that, right? You know what I think it is? I think it comes down to the way he talks. You know? That dude should be unloading trucks in Transylvania. That should have been the height of his success. But because he's a great man, he had the balls to move to America. Became famous for lifting weights. I lift weights, nobody gives a shit. He lifts weights, becomes super famous. Did he rest on his laurels? No. Next challenge. I'm going to become an actor despite the fact that nobody can really understand me. Against all odds, he starts making movies. Get down. There's a bomb. Get out of there. Becomes one of the biggest blockbuster stars of all time. What are you going to do next, Arnie? I think I'm Maria Kennedy. There's no fucking way you can do that. Bam, he does it. Cherry on top, I'm running for governor of a state I can't even pronounce, and he wins the election.
California.
Why wouldn't this guy think he couldn't bang his maid in his own bed and get away with it? This dude has been in the zone for over 4 decades. 4 decades, nothing but net. Bang a maid in my own bed, dude, that's a layup. Are you serious? I had a hit movie with a midget. I don't even need a condom. Right? And then what happens? The smoke clears. Then all these trolls come out of the woodwork and start judging this great man. All these fatties, these fucking old guys who never got any with their jowls coming on TV. Absolutely reprehensible behavior. What kind of a public servant? His legacy is shrouded. Like they have any idea what it's like to be tempted at that level, right? Like they have groupies as they waddle out to their Mercury Tracer parked on the other side of a dumpster. Really? You're beating them off? This guy, he's not a great man anymore? Terminator doesn't count? Is that what the fuck you're telling me? Because he fucked Alice? Really? He's still not a great man because he did that. Then that's the whole thing's over? Anybody here think they could move to Austria, learn the language, become famous for working out, then be a movie star, then marry into their royalty and hold public office? How many lifetimes would you need? I'm on my 3rd attempt at Rosetta Stone Spanish. How can I judge these guys? I can barely handle the temptations of Facebook. I'm going to judge Tiger Woods. I golf. I don't walk off the 18th hole and there's a busload of Scandinavian women waiting to fuck my brains out. Sorry, ladies, gotta go home to the wife, right? No, it kills me. And there's no help out there for guys. There isn't. There's nothing out there to help you handle becoming rich and famous. There's nothing to prepare you for that platoon of whores that's gonna form on the horizon. Right? Like Braveheart, faces painted, skirts on, will run down the hill, they'll jump on your dick in front of your wife. They don't give a shit. It's not even a handbook out there. I saw one article written about it on the cover of Time magazine. It said, why do so many rich, famous, and powerful men act like absolute pigs? Right? And the article was actually written by a woman.
Facts.
That's like me writing a book, The Third Trimester and What to Expect. Ladies, you're going to feel the pressure. How the hell would I know? You don't want to hear that from me, right? Then why is this woman telling me what it's like to have a dick? That makes no sense. You have no idea what it's like to have a dick. 24/7. Do it. Fuck it, do it. That's what it's saying. Do it. Yeah, do it. That's how we survived as a species. Every man in here is programmed to fuck 85% of the women in this room. Right? Yeah, we are. Do it. Fuck it, do it. You know? It's just that you won't. That's the only reason why we don't, you know? That's not you keeping your dick in check, you know? Some guy at Home Depot working there, he wants to fuck just as many women as a celebrity, right? But he can't do it because whores don't care about lumber, right? The second he hits the fucking lottery, all of a sudden, you know, that do it, fucking do it, you know? That wasn't affecting his life. And all of a sudden these whores show up. I'll do it. I'll suck it. I'll do it, right? No, somebody's got to step up. All right? I'm not even blaming whores, really.
Here it is.
Guys, we're fucking idiots. What are we doing?
Yep.
Why are we working so hard and then giving it all away
Facts.
to some chick who did 3 shifts at a fucking Hooters? No. They're fucking bums sitting there with fucking Dorito dust in their cleavage, walking around with hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sick of that shit. That's what the law says. 100 years ago, I could beat you with a fucking mop handle. I'd be like, oh, that's what the law says. Doesn't make us right. No, it's unreal. And all this shit's going down, and we're not doing anything. What are we doing? Same old shit. Sitting around watching Shark Week, right? Watching shit about poisonous snakes half a world away, just filling your head up with all this useless information. What to do if you come face to face with a Bengal tiger? Don't look at it. Don't look away. Slowly back up as you push your friend forward. Right? All this useless information, yet hanging between your legs is this thing that could crumble your entire empire 7 minutes or less. Don't know a fucking thing about it. Even worse, you think it's your friend. Yeah, you know why? Because your dick's like a dreamer. You know? Your dick believes. It's like a motivational speaker. I don't give a shit what question you ask it. It's always like, yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a plan. Exit strategy. Later. We'll be fine. Where's your dick when you get caught, right? Then it's just slumped over. Like, hey, I thought it was a good idea. You have to know that. Dude, if your dick was a third base coach, it wouldn't hold anybody up. It'd just be fucking waving people around. Everybody, go in standing up. You got it. Oh, shit, here she comes. Slide. All right, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. He's right, guys. He really is. It's our fault, ultimately. You know what I mean? Like the system guy's gonna go, oh, we're gonna all we can worry about is not what should be, but what is, right? And you look at the way that the system works and the way the society is set up and the way that women in these cases benefit from a system that's set up by other men to redistribute wealth from men to the government, proxied through women. Like a lot of people don't know that for child support court, the judges keep a percentage of the child support. So they're incentivized to get child support out of dudes because they keep a percentage of the money. So why would they want intact families? Why wouldn't they tell women, oh yeah, you can get child support when a judge's check is being supplemented by that? And women think that they're winning. They even have it to where if I'm making $3 million a year, right? And a woman gets pregnant and by me, and then she goes to get welfare. She gets food stamps, TANF, Medicare. She gets that, and then whatever the welfare amount is, like a couple $100 a month. My child support, it's like $17,000 a month. It goes to the court through welfare. The courts keep the rest of the money. She only gets the welfare, but the courts keep that part of my check.
17,000?
I'm just saying, like, let's just say that a woman can't find me for some reason, and she goes on welfare.
I'm aware of welfare and TANF.
Once you apply for TANF, right?
Yes, it does automatically whenever you apply for public benefits.
Yeah, they ask you for the father's name, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Then she gets those benefits while the state goes after you.
They will, begin to charge you. Yes.
Yes. So it doesn't matter what that amount is. She's going to get the same amount from the state, and the court keeps the rest. Clown world. They're incentivized that these women, men don't really spend money like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the 80% of all the buying decisions are women. But if you can get men's money, like for instance, think about the market, video games, cars, anything men are interested in. Once we're interested in something, we spend our money on it. So like, Gangish, you're into computers and stuff, right? Because that's part of your job, but it's part of your hobby. How much money have you spent on that stuff? Men, we really spend money on stuff that we really, really, really like. So
we'll have one singular thing we spend our money on. So like,
Yes.
if a guy's in the cars, he'll have like 7, 8 cars he's working on. If a guy's into video games, he has every single console. He's into guns, but women spend 80% of everything. They buy 80% of everything else in this country. And then AJ, we're talking about like lawyers. Lawyers try and push. Your wife can take you to divorce court and have the judge rule that you have to pay her and your legal fees in court. So the lawyers will purposefully push you guys into fighting back and forth because they can get the man to have to pay for both legal fees.
Yep, that's facts. And
It's
all it
crazy.
is that how is it that gang is you are married, let's just say, and then you and your girl, you split up or whatever. You got money and assets, she's got money and assets. How is it that you guys will drag out a divorce and both end up claiming bankruptcy? Where'd the money go? To the courts and the lawyers.
Oh yeah,
and that's what people don't understand. So what I'm saying is that
I was thinking about this earlier. Is that this is just another example, as far as I'm concerned, of the government ruining everything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because marriage was governed by the church. Now, whatever you think of the church, they generally did a good job. They made it hard to divorce.
Well,
they tried to a lot of counseling.
Yeah, divorce was really unheard of back in the day. Before the 60s, where they did no fault divorce during the feminist movement. And then what they did was, and here's a big difference. If this was 1910, 20, 30, 40, 50, the children belonged to the father.
Yep.
If the mother left, the father kept.
Father would take the kids.
Because they were his property along with everything. So the mother would leave with what she came in with, which what oftentimes people didn't divorce, right? So now they have no fault divorce, which means that anyone can just leave and break up a contract for any reason. Now, Genghis, you told me that like you do IT stuff for some people, so you do some contract work. Imagine me coming to you and saying, "Hey, yo, man, hey, yo, we're gonna do this $20,000 contract thing, right? But for a year and a half, I need you to do work. But at any time, I could break the contract for no reason, leave, and take your computer with me."
Yeah, but this is a response. This didn't happen in a vacuum. This happened because, it was this no fault divorce was brought about so that women who didn't have any skills and had been nothing but house mothers their entire life, got pregnant at 15, married a man, and then took care of their babies their whole life. And then the guy leaves her and she has zero skills.
But that's never really happened in math.
And before 1950, women women didn't have skills like this. Women didn't participate in skilled labor. They entered skilled labor with the industrialization of the country. Prior to that, they didn't have skills.
Yes, but men didn't leave. That has nothing to do with women having skills. Men have never left relationships. Even now, listen. No, with all the freedom that we have now, women file for divorce 70 to 80% of the time, and 90%. Listen. Hold on.
There's just a bunch of random statistics, brother.
No, it's not. It's the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the CDC, and even then with blacks, because it's 90%.
Yeah, but the first thing
this is black demographics.
Statistics don't mean
no,
shit.
well then
yeah,
here,
they do.
Well then here, fine. Well then, how do you know?
They tell you about statistics.
No. You can say bad things about statistics all you want, but it's all we have. If you don't like my numbers, listen. Where are you?
Experience in the world?
No, because everyone experiences things differently. There's people who experience communism in North Korea and think that it's great. Is their experience good?
They think that it's great in North Korea? Not many.
There's some people who do. If we can't have a baseline discussion based on statistical analysis and data.
You keep repeating the same ones. I've heard
and the thing is,
you got to get to a point of the story.
And what I'm saying is that with all the freedom that we have now, men don't leave relationships. We don't.
Or marriages.
Women leave 80% of the time. Men initiate 100% of marriage and get left 8 out of 10 times. How do you figure that with where we're more free now, you would think men would leave more, right? No, when men don't leave. Even think of the Flintstones, Fred and Barney. They're driving home and they go to the Legion with the horns on their heads, bitch about the wives. Why? Because men go home to shit marriages that they won't leave because they made an obligation and they made a vow before God that they will not break. Men do not leave. Women, there's the saying, women have the right to change their minds. Men don't leave. And what I'm saying is I will not listen to this misandrous, man-hating narrative that men leave women out to dry. Women
never happened
leave.
in mass, bro. Come on.
And you can believe it or not.
Have left. My best friend, I watched my best friend. I can introduce you to him, homie. He's named Sonny. Okay, he's
the
got
exception
like
doesn't disprove the rule.
Yeah, I know, I get that. But
so you're going to tell me an exception?
No. You're saying never.
No, I never said that.
So I just disproved.
No, I said men don't leave. I said men don't. I never said men never leave.
That.
No. The majority of men do not leave.
That's what you said.
No, I said men
don't.
No, so we're not going to do the whole.
The majority. It doesn't.
Yes, I am not going to do the whole. Not all.
You can't say all.
Listen,
language, dog.
Listen. No. I never said all. I never say all or never.
You said it several
times.
No.
Dogs bark.
Numerous
times.
No, I said men don't leave. I never said men never leave. What I'm saying is this. Men have this narrative that I won't stand for anymore, that men are pieces of shit, men are dogs, women are victims, because we're equal. We're 50-50. Men can be shit and women can be shit too. And the system itself incentivizes women to leave men, which is why men commit suicide over divorce. How can you say men are just scum when men kill themselves over divorce? We're 2.4 times more likely to kill ourselves from divorce.
Yeah.
If you poll all the women in your life and ask them how many relationships have you had that you broke up, they'll say all of them. I guarantee men don't really leave women like that. And I just want to like understand. See, I used to think this the same way. I'm from Seattle. I used to be this liberal feminist. Men are trash. Women are these victims. But you know what woke me up? Because I'm a black man, right? And I realized in this feminism class that I took that all this negative language that women use, that these feminists use, that men are trash, men are predators. Hillary Clinton said men are super predators. It's the language that the Klan and all of them have used to talk about black men.
Yeah,
my whole life. And then I realized, wait a minute, this language these feminists use, this is what they use against me to have black men like me hemmed up by the cops all the time, which is why I am prevalently pro male and pro black male. And I will not look at when blackdemographics.com statistics for black people by black people gives me these statistics in our black community, which is showing more towards white
today. Them more accurate because they're for black people?
Yes.
It makes them more accurate.
It's black. It's okay. So where are your numbers then? If you don't like mine, where are yours?
Numbers about what, brother?
About what I just said. Here. How about this?
I don't disagree with you on much of that.
What I'm saying,
I don't disagree with you on much of that. I say what I disagree with, but
what I'm saying is this: any person now that disagrees with the numbers,
I never said anything about anybody being a piece of shit or men.
No. But what I'm saying is that
I'm incredibly sexist. I've been called sexist more times than I can fucking count.
Yes. So, what I'm saying is that they're the narrative that
horrible.
I've seen my entire life.
A small cohort that's very loud on social media.
Yes,
I don't see it in my world. I see women.
But that's your world. I see it in my world. But hold on. You might not see, but I see it in mine. I see it at my workplace.
Well, you're in Seattle.
Around no. I'm in DMV. I'm in DC.
Oh, that's worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm in Denver, dog. We're cool.
You live in the but so What I'm saying is I see it everywhere here. And what I'm going to do soon is move to the reddest red state possible, where I don't got to worry about any men's and LGBTs and non-binaries and all this foolishness and all these women. But matter of fact, I have a homeboy of mine. I told him he's a black guy. He's from here. He's only dated these hood chicks. He had a girl try and run him over with her car once, right? Because he's dating these hood chicks. I told him on his Tinder, change all your settings to conservative. And I'm more of a libertarian, right? So I'm not like Republican. He changed his everything, even though he's pro-choice. He put pro-life. I like Trump. I like guns, all this. Do you know all the purple-haired weirdo looking chicks, lesbian looking broads with piercings in the face disappeared? All of a sudden he's looking at apple pie Becky looking chicks. Mm-hmm. He brought this girl around. She looks like freaking a young what's her name from Sarah Michelle Gellar. Hey, this is Stacy. And here he is, he's like, dude, this chick is nice to me. She doesn't try and run me over with a car. I was sick. She came to my house and cleaned my house up and cooked me some soup. And I told him there's still good women out there, but in places like the DMV where I am, LA, Miami, Vegas, all this stuff that you see all these red pill guys talk about is true. That's why I say you have to go to places like San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Omaha, Nebraska. You know what I'm saying?
Kansas City, Kansas. That's where you can find the good women.
Good, decent chicks, or because just get your passport. Get your passport.
Just to go on what AJ's saying. So I live in the DMV too, and I'm actually dating out here, bro. and the biggest problem is so like what you said about men leaving. So like men are idealistic, but women are opportunistic, right? And in 2022 and 2023, there's nothing left for feminism to fight for. But just like the Germans in World War II, and a lot of conflicts that major empires have gotten into, their economy depends on war and conflict.
Oh yeah,
and
now
version of feminism,
national
needs conflict
of women.
So
they get yearly funds, and if they don't have a boogeyman like white guys like you, gangish, you're out there to jump out the bushes and kill us. They won't get their billions of dollars every year from the government.
And also the foundation of a good society is a family. Okay. And so, but family isn't in feminism's purview. So what they've done is they try to rewrite history to try to keep the war going. Any woman that says, well, most women back in the day were getting beat up by their husbands, trash, garbage. We have no evidence of that. None. Well, most women were in unhappy marriages. We have no evidence of that.
Zero. Listen, men and women were being oppressed by the environment.
That's a straw man. I can give you an actual argument. And the actual argument is no, most men did not beat their wives, but there was a certain chunk that did.
Just like now.
Was it a majority?
No. He didn't say the majority.
Let me talk. I was quiet. So there was a large chunk that did it back then. This is something else I witnessed with my own eyes. I seen women get beat like men whenever I was a kid. I grew up around bikers. It's what it was. It's what it is. And then I lived around black of men in the ghetto, and that was what it was too. They'll go straight to her jaw just like a man. I've seen it numerous times in the 80s and 90s. Not so much anymore, right? So they're not talking about nothing. That's the problem. Is they're screeching and yelling and hollering, and yes, they're putting a 10 on it too, but they had a truth to start with.
Yes, but the thing is, you have to worry about the majority, because if a person has cancer, then you can't talk about them missing a toe. You know what I'm saying? The biggest oppressor of people back in the day was the environment. My grandparents grew up on a farm. My grandma and granddad had to work on the farm, and they had 13 kids. My granddad, he didn't have time to whoop up on my grandma. They were working. And if you grew up around bikers and stuff in ghetto, they're going to be a bit more violent than average suburbs. Most of the United States is suburban people who just get up and go to work. DV has never been this common occurrence, but they've rewritten history to where, to say that before 1963, men were just giving the "sure you can" to all these chicks in the face, and it wasn't happening. In the same way that this,
I've seen it.
if you look, yes,
That's anecdotal. I understand that.
Yes.
I get it.
But think of this too. I have friends of mine who are from Africa and the Middle East. And the way that these feminists make you think about the Middle East, Africa's women are just getting Mortal Kombat on them. But they're from there. That's not true. Women in Dubai and in Lebanon are actually happier when polled than here. It's safer in a lot of places.
They don't do polls in Lebanon. So I don't
know they do
polls in Lebanon.
No, the WHO does. Yes, they do.
Yeah, no.
Yes, they do.
No,
they do.
Half of Lebanon's been controlled by separatists. Don't give me this.
How about this? Other Middle Eastern countries. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's just say,
Lebanon.
What I am saying is, just like a friend of mine told me, if you can go through the non-English speaking barrier of countries, because Americans tend to go travel in places where they speak English. But I've been to South America. I've been everywhere. When you start going to places in the Middle East and Africa, and you see how the people live, and how much more they are about family, and everyone in the neighborhood knows each other, and all this stuff, people are happier there. It's safer there than it is here, and people they don't understand. Even though they don't have quote unquote feminism, if one guy's beating on his wife, then her brothers and all the rest of the men go beat the shit out of him, and he doesn't do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's how things used to be. You know what I mean? But now we have, and like I said, it's this whole thing where now Planned Parenthood, all these feminist-run organizations need money. They need funds. So they have to keep moving this goalpost over and over. But think about this. In the UK, only 13% of women call themselves feminists anyways. And the United States, it's only like 20%. Because most people don't like where this modern let's hate white men. I think that I talked about this with you the other day. White women did the old whoop-de-whoop, right? Because they were saying, "Oh, these white men, they're all shit and they're trash." And white women were right there.
Right next to him.
Right next to y'all. Except I would even give the slave master some credit, because he at least had to go out there and whoop on the slaves. His wife is just sitting up at the house eating bonbons, living off the blood of everyone. And that's why in my particular sphere, white women are the most privileged and dangerous group in the United States.
And that goes for everybody, against white men, everybody.
Men, black women, because they can be empowered and be victims at the same time. And then they constantly make themselves the victims no matter what. They can lie, they can do anything else and take any group down. And here's the thing. You know how many black women that I know go to work every day, and some white woman goes, "Keisha doesn't smile at me. It makes me feel like I'm in an unsafe work environment." When all she's trying to do is go to work. No other group of women feels so entitled that if another woman doesn't
say this, where is this? Is this in DC too?
No, all over corporate America. Look at Madame Noir.
I gotta be honest, dog. And this is the problem. This is the big disagreement I have with you in general. I agree with like 90% of what you say.
Yeah.
But you get off in these tangents, and the only places where I see that you're describing is people on the internet, because in the world, I don't see that.
Well, then
I see people that could care less about what color I am.
Yes.
They're happy to talk to me.
Yes.
And I just don't see it.
But
I see
it must
women
be
more
nice
receptive
to live in an existence where your skin color doesn't really affect you. But like, for instance, I grew up in a predominantly white area in Seattle. You would think that it would be like woke. I would still end up walking down the street. Someone calls the cops and goes, "Why? There's this black guy walking through our neighborhood." It's like, what Dave Chappelle said about why the alphabets, they're victims until they're not. You have these alphabets will be like, we're woke, Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden there's this black guy in my neighborhood, and they're calling the cops, right?
Or let me give you another stat. You're the 70% of non-binary people of they thems are biological white females. You want to know why? Because here's the thing: we've had so much diversity and sensitivity training, which is trash, by the way. That regular, like being a regular white woman isn't good enough anymore. I'm dating right now, and I have yet to see a dating profile in this area that has a heterosexual white woman in the DMV. They're all sapiosexual, pansexual,
Pansexuals,
bisexual,
sapiosexual,
and not only that, it's just like people, but particularly women, are incentivized to try to not only participate but co-opt the conversation of oppression. And that's why 70% of non-binary people are white women, because white women, they just can't be white. They have to find a reason to come at you being a white guy and say, you're a white woman, but you're non-binary. So they have to find a way to come at you, gang. I'm not just a regular white woman. I'm non-binary. So you hate me because I'm, you won't call me by my pronouns, so I don't like you. It's like, what's going on here?
But even then, civil rights was about blacks, browns, Asians getting rights, and then all of a sudden, women jumped on the train. Yeah, we're gonna this and that. It's like, wait a minute, how did this happen? You know what I mean? And all I'm saying is that if you look at, listen, black and white culture tend to parallel a lot, but at the same time, they're not the same. So, like, I was talking to my one friend who's a white guy at the job, and he saw me talking to another girl, and I was in her office, but the door was open, and he goes, Alan, I noticed that you always have the door that you're always standing halfway outside the door when you talk to, what's your name? I said, because I'm a big black guy. I can't close that door and then risk having her say something because I could get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Or for instance, my one friend goes, she just jokes, she has a resting bitch face, right? And then she goes, Alan, AJ, you always walk around the office with a big smile on your face. I said, because I don't have the luxury of a 6'3" black guy walking around the office with a mug on his face. I'm going to get in HR and they're going to be like, rah, 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 rah. You know what I'm saying? So they're just small little parts of our existence where we end up in these kind of different silos, but our experiences as men are all the same, right? And the fact that there's men every day that get fucked by the system. And all I want to see is that men understand, look, if you're going to get married, understand what you're getting into. If you're out at a college frat party and there's some drunk chicks and guys are being weird, get the hell out of there, because you can't take the risk. I'm not trying to talk bad about women. I know how they are. We can't change the rules, but we can change the rules of our mind. That's the only thing we can do, is we can say.
I have a term I call knowledge of self, right? Like everyone should know who they are, and where they came from. Because here's the thing, like, I love football, right? But you can't get on the field and score a touchdown without knowing the rules to football. So, like, knowing our government, knowing who you are, knowing what your people came through, went through, is true to that. Now, the biggest problem is, I think that where gangs will probably agree, is you can't use what you learn as a crutch to not try. Okay, you need to, no matter what you figured out, you got to get on that field and try to score a touchdown. Understand what I'm saying? And so I see too many people that have learned about certain things. Women even, well, I'm just a woman, so I'm gonna. It's like, no, you need to, especially as men, we have what's called the masculine burden of performance. We have to achieve, learn the rules, figure it out, get on the field, score a touchdown. That's it.
And big upping men isn't downing women. I just dropped a video today where that chick from the Young Turks is actually, of all people, her, and then this other guy, Vosh. He's was a communist YouTuber or whatever. he put some tweet saying, look, like the reason why so many young boys like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson is because the right, even though Tate's not right wing, but and Ben Shapiro, and then they're the only ones reaching out to men. The left hates men.
Yeah. That's
you know what I mean? So you were surprised when one side says you're born out of your mother's vagina as trash? You, no matter what, you are benefiting from this patriarchal system, and no matter what you do, you are oppressing.
But no serious person's ever told me that outside of college.
What's that?
No serious person's ever actually told me that outside of college.
I know, but a lot of people are going to college these days, and it's in the media too, especially in the mainstream media. And I think that you and I had a little.
I think the Democrats are stuck with it, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they are
100% facts.
100% facts. Man.
I don't think that Hillary Clinton changed her mind about gay marriage or any of that, or that Barack Obama all of a sudden supports trans rights. You know what I mean? It's just that.
AJ,
those are the voters.
About the you don't have to tell them we work, but you can tell them about when they did that study as to the makeup of
yeah. So where I work, right, it's been notoriously white women majority, right? And on paper that looks like diversity, right? But it's not, because it's all white women. It's like 70% white women. So they brought in this contractor that switched stuff up, and it was okay for a while. It was like white women barely, and then white men, Asians, black women, Hispanic men, Hispanic women, and black men last. Now it's back up there. It's like 2.5 out of 5 people in my area are all white women at every level. Well, on paper, that looks like diversity, right? Oh yeah, we're doing great with the quotas and blah blah blah. But it's just one type of person really, really dominating all the space.
What's bad is if you ask these women, they're still like, "Oh, we're oppressed, and there's not enough women here." But they did a study that showed that 70%.
I don't know how you're a white guy and you're just chill. Because if I was white, I find myself defending white guys to some people. I'm like, dude, every white guy I know is chill. Dude, I go to happy hour in DC, and I have been in conversations with women saying, guys, I don't know what white guys you're talking to, but all the white guys I know, they're trying to woke-splain oppression to me as if they're white women and they know what oppression is. I don't. And then I tell them some of the people that have stood by me the most have been white guys, chill white guys who want to get stuff done. And you're just trying to say, and you would just look at that person and say, oh, he's a white guy, he's trash. But hey, I'm on the coast, and all the coast is all this way.
Yeah,
New York, Jersey, DC. Well, not Baltimore, because Baltimore's off the chain. You know what I mean? But California, Washington State.
I grew up in a Mexican gang. I got put on, I think, 15, right? Out here in Denver, whenever I moved out here to Denver. So I functioned as far as the Hispanic community was, like, they embraced me. You know, you'll hear some people say, oh, I was a white dude in a Mexican gang and it was hard. It wasn't hard for me at all. They thought I was fantastic. You know what I mean? So they embraced me. And so I grew up around a bunch of Mexican women, a bunch of mostly Catholic Mexican women, conservative women. And it wasn't in it. And that's how I've always functioned to this day. I mostly fuck with Mexican women.
Yeah,
and, you know what I mean. And
hey, you know what? That's
I don't have any problems with
Listen, who did you say you deal with?
The Chicanas.
But you don't deal with these purple-haired, pierced-faced lesbians. See, there you go. So you have this process of weeding out the foolishness, right?
No, I like girly girls.
And you've built this system to weed out the foolishness, right? But for those of us where it surrounds us, like I'm in the DMV and it surrounds me every day, right? Where they ask you to put your friggin' pronouns and your signature of your emails and all. I'm like, you can't be serious. And you know what's crazy? My homeboy, he's a strong Catholic. He won't do it. And he told him too. He's like, look, this is against my beliefs as a Catholic. I won't do it. And they didn't try and force him to, but like they called him into the office about it a couple of times, right? And he was like, no. I need you to give me a written order to do so I can go to my lawyer and say that you're going against my religious beliefs, right? And they left him alone.
Yeah,
I
it's real out here on the coast.
I
man,
went
seriously.
and did a second interview today, and I'm not going to mention the organization because they actually have what they call a social media blackout. I've already seen it. It's in their like terms of service for the job, but it's a Catholic organization.
Mhm.
And whenever I went there, it actually was kind of refreshing because everybody that you basically have to affirm your faith.
Okay.
To work there. It's that
Okay.
serious.
That
You
makes
know what I
sense.
mean? And yeah,
You
but all
opening
the
up a
women-
Chick-fil-A?
all the women- no, yeah, I know, right? Gift manager. But no, all the women were super pleasant. All the women were very
that's true.
pleasant, very engaging.
The
You know
more
what I mean?
conservative seriously, I look at this, and I'm not particularly religious, but we do weekly, you know, where you guess the trivia questions, and we go to a Catholic, like Legion, the Knights of Columbus thing, and you know the people there, they're so nice. You know what I'm saying? They really, really, really are. Like they and a lot of it is, I think that they just want to just be left alone. And here's the thing: in the same way that you should ask them to respect your beliefs and your pronouns, you should respect their beliefs that they shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was saying in that video that I posted for the Young Turks, how even this woke guy was saying how intolerant that the far left is. They're saying that they can't even stay in the same room as a person that does not agree with them. Dude, do you know how many friends of mine that I know who disagree with me fundamentally on politics? But we're cool. We can have beers, watch the UFC card. We're chilling because that doesn't really come up in your life unless you want it to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. But the guy's question. So here's the thing, because back to the original topic here, right? Someone like Chuck Liddell, right? Because obviously he's a little bit older. He has some CTE going on, you know, and I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, it's not like if this wipes him out financially, is he gonna be? Who was it? It was Joe Louis, who was the towel guy in the bathroom at one of the casinos, like later on in his career. Or was it Jersey Joe Walcott? It was one of them where like he was ex-champion of the world, but he was like the bathroom attendant.
Or do you remember Virgil, the wrestler? He sets up a thing on the New York subway platform for people to pay for his autograph for like $50 a piece. You remember Virgil, the $1 Million Man? The $1 Million Man's the $1 Million champ.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's dead broke.
Yeah,
dead broke.
Well, this is another thing. Light Speed Retro, man. Thanks for your commentary. Even if you are tolerant and you are socially liberal, I think that once you put men's interests first, it does push you more towards conservative. I don't see how you can be far left and pro male. It just doesn't work. I don't see how you can be rooting for Kamala Harris, and Gangish knows how the fuck I feel about Kamala Harris. How you can be pro Biden and pro Kamala Harris and pro, you know, AOC and be pro male. It's just they're just completely incompatible. You know what I mean?
So yeah, you're right. And that's kind of what I was getting at earlier with the gender bender stuff, where we've got this cohort of
oh yeah. Hey, Doug MPA, dude. Gangish is live was lit, dude. He was talking about
Oh snap. Yeah, I gotta get on one of these days.
Hey, yeah, jump on. So they like these gender benders, right? If you think about the world in the past, it was 50% male, 50% female. 99% of the men were interested in women. 99% of the women were interested in men. And then you had the outliers. You had the gays. Well, now we got this strip of like gender benders in the middle that, in theory, were supposed to be like some sort of attractive feminine man. But that's not what they look like. They look like pudgy blobs with like half a beard. You know what I mean? All these weird looking things. Nobody's attracted to that. You just made a bunch of people that women or men are not attracted to that. Nobody's attracted to some in the middle amorphous blob.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
Or they'll be
they're trying to get you to like it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It is awful. Have you seen the Viagra? Have you guys seen the Viagra ads? Do you guys get those? The Viagra ads, and it's like the recent Viagra ad is it's like a black girl and a white guy in bed together, but she looks like a dude. It looks like Leslie Jones. You know what I mean?
No.
No?
It's my worst nightmare. I said Leslie Jones is literally my worst nightmare, dude. Seriously.
That chick is tough, dude. Hey, gang, have you noticed this uptick in female to female lesbian violence? Have you noticed that? Dude, Google this, man. They are killing each other, doing all types of foolishness.
And also, it's crazy how us men, we've been saying things for years.
Sorry,
like don't date single mothers because you don't want to take care of another man's kids. You want to
play
get married.
Another man's saved game.
Now you're seeing these women who date women saying the same things that men were saying. Don't date single mothers. Don't spend a lot of money on a woman for a date. All this stuff. It's like, we've been telling you women this forever, but now that you're dating women, now you can see exactly what we're talking about. Or like a lot of bisexual women will have sex with women, but won't date them because they're too high maintenance and cost you too much money. It's crazy.
Does that tell you
how much? Let me
Brittany Griner.
How much money do you think it costs to go out with a woman? What's a standard fee?
It depends on where you are.
I spend about $300 a month, dog, entertaining this woman, and that keeps it to where I get laid on a consistent basis, right? So that's about that's a couple dinners a month. I usually bring her lunch a couple times during the month. You know what I mean? Just because she's busy too. We're both busy. We get together when we can. You know what I mean? But I've calculated it costs me about $300. I get her nails done at least once a month. You know what I mean? What do you think for a respectable woman? Because there has to be a number. A woman shouldn't cost $20 a month, dog.
Yeah,
right?
That's not possible. In the DC area,
I'd probably say about that you have like.
What's that?
What are you saying?
Well, so
what are you saying?
DC area, I'd say like $500 a month. Because honestly,
and that's because a lot of these girls, like first dates, they want to go to play places where plates are $40-$50, drinks and everything.
It isn't even that. It isn't even that. Let me tell you the kind of dates you go on up in. These aren't first dates. These are maintenance dates. I dated a girl that liked to go to book conventions. You know how much a book convention costs to get into? Or never date a girl that says, "Oh yeah, I like live music and jazz." You know how much a jazz concert costs? Yeah, dude. What's about it is us guys, we don't want to do any of this stuff. None of it. Ugh.
Yeah, but that's part of it though, dog. That's part of entertaining women is sometimes it's not about you and you got to do things that they want to do, right?
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes she's gonna suck you off whenever she don't want to, right? I mean, realistically, there's gonna be times when you talk her into it.
But those are the ones that are actually about the give and take. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing.
That's what I look for.
You seem,
Yeah.
yeah,
I won't fuck with
you
it
seem
if
to
it's
have the
not.
filter.
I'll get
Yeah.
rid of you. You got like a date
But
and a
the thing-
half to not put out.
Yeah.
Or
But here's the thing about these young guys, man, because I talk to these 21-year-olds and these 19-year-olds and these 22-year-olds that are just straight being led around by their dicks, man. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's why my last live was about this friend zone. God, if you're in the friend zone, dude, what are you doing? There's a guy, this guy's name is Antonio. I'm gonna put him on blast. Never be an Antonio. This guy got friend zoned, the likes of which I've never seen. He would go over to this girl's house, fix her car. When she had a baby by another dude, he has a picture of her baby on his phone. He babysits for her while she goes out on dates with other dudes.
no.
Yeah.
Why?
When
He said why?
when her baby's father comes to pick up the child, Antonio will sit in his car in the parking lot to make sure that it's safe for them to exchange the child. What a fucking simp, dude.
Yeah, dude. And what I'm saying is, like, I just hate to see any guys that okay, if they're ignorant and don't understand what's going on, fine. If you know the fact, if you know what the friend zone is, and you know that she said no, she's not interested in you, and you do it anyways, hey man, there's nothing we can do. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put the knowledge out there to say, look, guys, if you get on your purpose, it's the same. If you spend your 20s not chasing skirt, but getting on your purpose, getting your money game up, getting your education, joining the military, doing something, the women will come. The attention from girls will come as you get older, as you get more money. You know what I'm saying? And you won't be looking for all this superficial foolishness anyways. You'll have more discernment.
Well, I would offer a different. I would say, don't just forego women altogether. I would just say, stack your bread and shoot lower. Shoot for some that cost less. Pick them up from the bar or something like that. I don't know, but because you need that practice. You need that practice.
So what I mean is not to sign off on chicks, but like I know guys who their sole purpose in their 20s was just getting chicks. And I'm like, dude, you spent the last how long chasing chicks, or even then, I know guys who go out to these clubs, right? In DC, cover charges like 60, 70 bucks. Then they get bottles. Then there's an after club, and the door fee is like $70. You spent like $700 on a Friday to get one. Are you serious? To get laid? Come on, man. What are you doing?
And then if I could put one more spin on it, one of the main things about my channel, and I believe it's like what you're talking about. I think one thing that we can all agree on is what's most important when it comes to anybody, but especially men, is what are you gonna do about it now? And this is for everybody. So like when I hear women say, "Oh, women have gone through so much. Women used to get beat, whatever, blah 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 blah," but you still want a man. So what are you gonna do about it now? When I hear black people, "Oh, we were so oppressed in the past, blah blah blah," but you have to be successful. What are you gonna do about it now? The thing about women, and one of the biggest differences between men and women, is that men have been winning alone for all throughout history. Only 40% of men have reproduced. Most of the loners in history, even now, most of the homeless are men or whatever. We can survive on our own, but women can't. And in our current society, you have more and more women realizing they need a man. And a lot of these women, the only way out of their situation right now is to partner with a man. So that's the thing with women. They're going to talk about all they've been through, all the hardship, how men in the past were terrible. And I would just ask them, what are you going to do about it now? Just like if you and I were talking about an issue, I listen to everything that you said and try to be empathetic, but then I would ask you, what are you going to do about it now? And too much of our society, when you ask, what are you going to do about it now? That's when the real work starts. But we have too many
Yeah.
people, particularly
Yeah,
women, who are stuck before that question.
yeah,
It- it-
these college kids act like they're just as oppressed as people in the 1920s when they're in college in the richest, most powerful country ever. You're on the
even
campus at a
even
college
women,
and you're
even
trying to
women,
say, yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
it just it's
yeah.
clown world, man. It
Even
is.
women,
And I think
women nowadays are the freest, most empowered, have the most money and wealth ever in history. And it's just like, once again, all the issues I hear with men and women, it's just like, get in the habit. What are you gonna do about it now?
yeah,
And
especially
and I
men.
would
And
argue
I
once
really
again, go ahead.
and I really don't take this shit from men. See, women can complain, whatever, but men, I really can't stand hearing complain unless they have a solution, right? This is what I would say. I try and offer solutions, guys. If you know the game is rigged, don't play it. We talk about divorce and Chuck Liddell. He shouldn't have played the game in the first place. Ultimately, it's his fault. It's his
Yeah.
fault because he shouldn't have married that chick in the first place. Take her out of the equation. He should have known that at some point there was a likelihood that he could have ended up with a guy in a friggin' robe dictating his livelihood with her by proxy. It could happen. So he should have just, you know what? I'm an old, tired guy. I'm gonna sit on my back porch, drink beer, whatever,
hmm
shoot my guns. But instead, he's
Yeah.
ended up with
Like I said,
this girl. And all we
men,
can do, yeah.
if you're okay, one of the best parts about feminism freed women up from having to be barefoot and pregnant and having to be abused by their husbands. But it also freed men up too. It used to be that the only to be a bachelor you had to be a rich, like a rich playboy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's true.
But now average guys, we can be bachelors now. Guys can win in a relationship or marriage or alone. See, women can't win alone because women. You want to talk about the government gang issue? Women take more from the system.
Yeah, you look
Single
at
women and
Korea
single
and
mothers
Japan.
take the most from the system of
Yep,
anybody.
yep,
Men, we
Korea,
put in,
Japan.
women and single mothers take out. That's all it is.
Yep, the Korea, Japan. They're going bankrupt now because there's so many older women who are trying to live off the system. But ultimately, I put men.
Who's going bankrupt? What?
Korea
Korea.
and Japan.
Japan owns more of the world's debt than any country in the planet.
Yes, but there's no one to actually work. Their population's not
Yeah,
growing.
they don't need to.
Yeah, no,
They made more
yes,
money than God in the 1980s
No.
and the 1990s.
Yes,
They
but
own more of
remember
the
that
United States
the
debt than
Japanese
anywhere.
economy tanked in the 90s too. The
No,
Japanese
it
bubble burst.
stagnated. It didn't tank. It stagnated.
But there's still a population problem in Japan.
Oh,
That's the
certainly.
problem.
100%.
Yes. To the point
100%.
where you know that Japan is the most xenophobic culture on the
Absolutely.
planet, and they're trying to import Caribbean and African nurses and doctors to be able to take care because there's more octogenarian, nonagenarian, and centenarian, 80, 90, 100-year-old people in Japan than anywhere else, and they're trying to hire Indian, African, Caribbean doctors, but the population doesn't. The government is trying to incentivize them to move there, but when they get there, they face all sorts of backlash. So
Yeah,
it may not be hitting them now, but there's and one last thing about Japan: the 80, 90, 100-year-olds, the 50, 60-year-old people who should be retiring are still having to work full time, and then the grandkids are not able to have a career and get into the workforce because they're taking care of the grandparents while the parents are working, and so you're having the grandkids are in their 20s or 30s now and haven't had an opportunity to get skills, a lot of them, because they spent so many years taking care of their aged grandparents, and then their parents are having to stay in the workplace 10, 15 years past when they retired because they can't afford to retire. So there's a whole big problem coming up with Japan, even if they're buying up all of America's debt.
Okay.
No,
So
they've owned all of America's debt for
yeah,
a long time.
so
They own like 70% of it.
so Japan had a bubble that burst in the late 80s, and I know this because I'm into cars, and all of the Supras and RX-7s and all those, they stopped making those
Mhm.
because the economy went tits up, right? And it said, where are we here?
It's
From the
stagnant.
no. Look, okay, here we go. And
AJ,
an attempt.
I got to drop off.
Word.
But
All right, man. And
it's
an
great
attempt,
having you, gangs. It was great talking to you.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good night, okay?
Brother.
So it says, an attempt to manage the inflation rate. The Bank of Japan, they increased their interbank lending rates in 1989. The dramatic policy change led to the bubble bursting, and the Japanese stock market came crashing down. Asset prices fell and left the banks and financial institutions in huge amounts of debt. Although insolvent, these banks managed to stay active through the support from the government. They received the infusions from government as well as loans from the central bank, thus creating zombie banks that are operational even though they have no economic net worth. Unfortunately, these zombie banks were also funding zombie firms, unprofitable businesses. Inevitably, these firms proved to be unsustainable. The lost decade originally referred to the decade after the bubble burst from 1991 to 2001. During this time, the Japanese economy grew only 1.14%, lower than most nations. Equity dropped from 60% from 1989 to 1992, and land values fell 70% by 2001. And why hasn't Japan recovered from the lost decades?
It was vastly inflated. The land market, because there was so little land in Japan, it was vastly inflated. Talking like $20,000 a square foot in certain parts of downtown Tokyo and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. In 2021, they have more public debt than any developed nation at 266% of GDP. Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they don't.
I remember that they had a bubble burst and their economy went tits up, and that's why the Supra, the 3000 GT, the RX-7, the NSX, they stopped making those cars. It's because no one in Japan could afford them anymore. Like the golden age of Japanese cars was like 89 to 99, where they had, the Skyline GTR and all those, and then after that they were like, we can't afford to make these motherfuckers anymore. you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the funniest part about your channel is you talk about so many random topics. It's hilarious. Every time that you go live, it's always something different.
You never know. There's crazy shit.
And I always laugh, man. It's hilarious, But yeah, you're a topic earlier though. Clown World is like, dude, I really, 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 really think that the average white person, the average white young person, there's this narrative that men are bad, but just white people are bad. White people, there's all these hashtags like white people have no culture. What, dude, are you serious? Like skateboards, telephones, all this other stuff that white people made, and you guys don't have it. This is I'm a black person saying this, right? Like, this Clown World. But now the popular media is telling young white kids that being white, being vanilla, being the majority is bad. So we have to be Rocky Road. We have to be, Mississippi Mud, right? So they have to find some way to not be regular white people. And that's where the pan said, I know a girl, this redheaded girl, she only dates big black dudes, right? And she calls herself pansexual with every single person she's been with. It has been darker than midnight, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't see you with any chicks or anything, but she sure will wave that rainbow flag. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's a way for people to they think that being oppressed is cool, and they have a way of claiming oppression, but without doing anything. It's like you had said earlier, they don't have to suck any dick. You know what I'm saying? But they can still wave the rainbow flag.
if nobody will sleep with me, I never really have to suck any dick.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
facts,
mean?
man. You know, it's absolutely true, and it's clown world, and
Yeah.
that's why I always throw it. I always throw it back on them. My favorite
I'm gonna
term.
clip that. Hold on, let me write the exact time down. That's 1:34, 1 hour 34 minutes. That's a good sound bite.
But yeah, man, I always say this whole they have mansplaining. I would say woke splaining. Don't woke splain oppression to me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it too is white. There's some white people who want to have the ability to get up and lecture other white people.
Yeah.
They want to just see you as a white guy walking down the street minding his damn business and be like, "Do you know about Black Lives Matter? Even black people don't like Black Lives Matter. What are you talking about? I've seen more white people repping Black Lives Matter shirts
Yeah,
than
it is.
black people,
Especially out here in Colorado, honestly. It's mostly a white organization in Colorado.
Clown world, man. And it's funny because anytime you're on Twitter and anything is racist or phobic, it's always a bunch of white chicks chiming in and trying to say this, that. You never see any blacks, Hispanics, or how about this? Because you hang out with Hispanics, right? All my Latino friends don't like the Latinx. They can't stand it.
They don't use that. No,
90
no
now here's a number we can agree on. When polled, 98% of Hispanics do not like the word Latinx. 98% of a nationwide poll of all Hispanics from all areas do not like this term, and yet it's white people, academia, white people trying to tell brown people how to talk, and they don't see that as being discrimination.
It's condescending. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I think that it's clown world that now they want to have black only parts on campus. Didn't we get away from whites and blacks only signs back in the day?
Aren't you just giving? Isn't that what the white people wanted in the first place?
Exactly,
Isn't that what
man.
they were fighting for? The
clown world. But
it was
hey,
for the black people to be over there.
Were you a big MMA fan back in the day?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
You still are? Or,
no. I just don't have time to follow it anymore.
Yeah, I'm a huge MMA fan, always have been ever since UFC 1. And, it's sad. You look at Chuck Liddell, man, he used to knock fools out, man. He used to knock them out. And then he would grapple because he actually wrestled in college. He would wrestle enough to where you couldn't take him down. And then he would just play the bongos on your face. You know what I'm saying? And he had them hands, man, and it's just sad seeing him go out like this. But the last thing that I want to ask you about, because I don't think that we talked about this yet. Did you talk about the Dana White slap thing yet?
Yeah, we discussed it for like 5 minutes, a little bit. Nothing too serious.
Yeah. I mean, that's between him and his woman. But I was talking about how you have all these media outlets saying that there's all these people coming to his defense. And I said, look, where society goes, if you say men and women are equal, then ultimately what young boys see is we're the same. You should treat women the same regardless. You can't say a woman should be treated equally to you, or there's no such thing as gender, but you can't hit a woman. How does that track? Now, I'm not for hitting women. I'm not. It's not cool. But what I'm saying is when these young kids are being indoctrinated to think there's no biological differences between men and women, you should treat everyone the exact same, and there should be equal outcomes, not equal opportunities, then their hands are going to be rated E for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that the people are buying it, though. I think it's just the people who have control of the narrative just keep saying it. And the reason I don't think people are buying it is because whenever you put good ideas out there, people pick them up voluntarily.
Yeah.
Whenever the government keeps beating something, it's because people don't believe it.
But now they want to critique people like for instance, Jordan Peterson, who's putting out these ideas, and he is the ultimate person where he has said, that's not what I said. I said blank. That's his credo, because he says things directly and succinctly, and people will say what I heard was like, you heard something completely different. And I think that that's what society is they look at Genghis. He's a white guy. And obviously anything that you say is going to be taken through their lens of, he's a white guy, he's bad. And what's happening is that more and more young people are turning to places like your channel, mine, the internet, and getting away from mainstream media and getting more diverse opinions. You know what I'm saying? And being able to actually voice their opinions too. Look at your channel. You let people up to talk. Me too. I like talking to people, but encouraging this conversation is the ultimate way to go. But I refuse to believe that anyone who won't talk to anyone who disagrees with them or won't give them an actual space has any type of good faith or any good agenda, you know? So
check this out. So a while back, it was one of the first interviews that I did. And I went and interviewed one of the homies from my gang. And he's a Native American dude. Okay. And so I went back and he was like, well, I don't really know what you want me to talk about. I can't really talk about a lot. He still lives in the projects. He's like, I can't really talk about what goes on around here. I said, yeah, I get it. You know, so we just sit there and start talking. And he just starts talking about whatever he wants to start talking about. Well, he comes up with this analogy and he said, it's just like the gay people. He said, the creator made everybody just like the flowers in the garden. Some of us are bright. Some of us are dark. Some of us smell bad. Some of us got thorns and will stab you. We're all different, just like the flowers in the garden, right? Whenever I posted this video the first time, it's like a 2 or 3 minute video. I posted it and it cost me a couple subscribers, right? Okay. But they went down and then they went up. I ended up it was a total plus. Now, what I did was I just did my best of 2022 video.
I saw that, yeah.
And right in the middle of it is that thing where my homie's talking about gay people. And I went and looked the other day, and I have a dip exactly where he starts talking about gay people. It goes, people drop off. So that homophobia is real, and he's not even saying that gay shit is great or anything. That's literally it. It's just an analogy about flowers in the garden.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was enough.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. I'm too lazy to hate anyone. It's too much work to have a whole group of people living rent-free in your head. Come on, man. I can get along with anyone. I'm an extrovert. I get along with anyone. But what I don't like is people that can't show you a common goddamn courtesy. We got to share this mud ball. We don't live in a vacuum. And there's people that I honestly believe there's Americans that I think that we should trade for foreigners. If you drop them into Liberia for a couple of years, they would appreciate what they have so much more. And that's why immigrants come here and they kill it, man. I have friends of mine from Ethiopia, from Romania, from, Russia, from everywhere. And they are killing it, man. And they just say, look, wait a minute. I have food. I have hot water. I don't really have anything to complain about here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's just perspective. And when we have these, 50 Cent had the interview. Did you see that? He said, depression's not a thing in the hood.
Yeah,
because we gotta eat.
It's real. It's real.
We gotta eat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's real. It's true and it's not true. It's true because you're right. You'll just go figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
But it's not true because it manifests in ways where motherfuckers cut themselves, where women will pull chunks of their hair out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's true. What he's saying is true, but it's nuanced.
Yeah, that's true.
That stress is going to come out.
Yeah.
You can bottle it up all you want. It'll come out somewhere. You beat your wife up, beat your girl up.
Yeah, well, I mean, my one friend, Sam, he's from Senegal, man. And he's like the most he's more positive than I am, man. But he was saying some of the stuff he went through. It's like, man, how are you not? But it's just all in perspective, man. And I think that the last point that I want to make is I had kind of an epiphany the other day, and I used to get irked on how, like, I feel like society, we used to trumpet across the hills how men should win, right? How men can win in life. And now I feel like there's an active agenda in schools and all of this riddling they're giving young boys and stuff to have to keep that from men, right? And I do my little part, but a certain side of me says, look, that means that those of us who do know the rules to win, that's less competition, that's less pieces on the on the Monopoly board. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So in a way, I guess it does help, but
I've had girls ask me why I'm so confident, because I'm fat. I'm like 250, 260, 5'11. You know what I mean? I'm thick in the middle. And the girls have asked me why you're so because I see the competition.
Yeah, facts. Absolutely.
Let's see what's here. These two are drunk. You know what I mean? He's on drugs. This fool stinks. And he's a slob. That's my competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the other ones are too chicken shit to ask you out in the first place.
Yeah. This one's half a girl.
Yeah.
And that one's scared of you. That one's scared of vagina.
It's facts, man. It's facts. And I've always been the type to where, you know what, men have, we need to know the game, but ultimately we have no excuses because the world doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself out there, and if you want something, you got to go and get it because we have more access to anything. Now, if you're disabled, if you're like these poor veterans who have PTSD or whatever, that's different. But if you are an able-bodied man with 10 fingers, 10 toes, and a heart beating in your chest, you know what I'm saying? You got to grind, man. So, but cool, man. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, that's it, brother. I'm good.
Hey, what time is it there?
What is it? 9. Yeah, I got to go hit the dispensary, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, did you get everything with your wallet figured out? Because I know you got jacked the other day. My
wallet's gone. Wallet's gone.
But you got like a new ID and all that stuff?
Yeah, cool, I'm all good to go now. Yeah.
Praise.
Gotta
Cool.
go get me a new wallet. But thank you for having me.
All right, my friend.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for your support, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.